Well, hello, and what's going on? Okay, so this is where I'm at. I'm getting really anxious to go ice fishing. So I've decided to make you guys a video. We're gonna dig out all my stuff from last year's ice fishing adventures, and we're gonna go through it. Basically, if you guys have been watching my channel, then you would know that I've moved, so everything is in dismay. And I got to make sure I got everything together, and I want to get it in order so that way when ice fishing season starts, because we're getting down to the end of deer season, so, but anyways, so that way when it starts, I can frickin' be ready to go. It's going to be a really good ice fishing season this year. So anyways, yeah, we're going to start with the ice traps. I got to dig out the rest of them. Okay. So we're going to start with the ice traps here. Last year I purchased 3 very nice ice traps. These have been cream of the crop. These are jack traps. You can see it on the reels. They're very awesome. I'd recommend these to anybody that has any of the older style traps. I really like these too. I used them all last year. You can see they're pretty messed up because they froze in quite a few times. Yeah, I'm not a professional ice fisherman. I've gone a few times in the past years of my life. Last year and the year before was really when I started amping it up and started going and doing all of it. But these ones are heritages, and these are jacks. I plan on getting 2 more jack traps. I'm still going to bring these ones with me because I want to use them in a few videos and stuff. But for now, I'm going to get more of these ones because these ones are just amazing. So yeah, I have 3 of them and I have 2 heritages. Those are my traps. I'm gonna try to get some new floor mats, even though I think you guys probably like my little play mats. They worked, you know what I mean? They worked. They got me through. So anyways, my jet sledge right there. This is the room in my new trailer here. It's got all my dad's heating equipment still in here, so it's kind of a mess behind me. I gotta get all that stuff moved eventually. But I got my jet sled that has most of my stuff in it here, some other stuff in the other room. We're gonna slowly go through everything so you guys can see all my equipment that I do have, and we can figure out what I'm missing so I can get it, so I have some good stuff for this year. So on that note, them are my traps. They didn't come with these bags. I bought these bags off in Kenny, which you guys probably by now know Kenny. He had them. He sold them to me pretty cheap, and I needed bags for my traps, so that's why I bought them. So anyways, let me grab some more stuff, throw it on the table, and we'll check it out, and we'll go from there. All right. So the next thing on the list, my heater. This thing is my first one. She's pretty beat up. During the move, or at some point, the dog spilled paint all over the house. He ran around, little footprints everywhere, all over my couch, all over everything, and it got on my ice fishing gear. So I'm most likely going to be upgrading, because this one's got broke there, as you can see. She's pretty beat up. We'll see if she lights. Oh, there's a flame. Still working though. Usually I had to tip it until it fucking ignites. Oops, sorry about my language. See if it stays going. Alright, she's gonna stay going. Oh, there it goes. Alright, well, it's still working, so I'll keep that in my gear, but I am going to get one of the bigger ones. That is pretty awesome. It still has the same tank on it that I had last year, folks. I'm impressed. Are you impressed? It's pretty cool. This year's going to be way better. I'm going to upgrade a lot of stuff. That's why I'm kind of going through it now. It's downpouring outside, just like it always is whenever I feel like I want to do something around the house here. But anyways, yeah, she's kicking out heat and she's working pretty good. So I guess we'll keep that in the gear just as a backup, and then when I get the new one, I'll show you guys. She's heat right up, glowing orange. So cool, sweet. Let's move on to the next piece. All right, so the next piece was in the bottom of the sled. I just wanted to show you guys. I always bring this with me. It's a jaw jacker I bought. Basically, you set it up, the pole bends over, it has a trigger system. When the fish hits the bait, it sets it off, it snaps and sets the hook. I've caught a trout on it. I think it was a trout. I can't really remember now. I've caught a couple other fish, but yeah, it was a trout. We went up to a lake after, I think it was last year, the year before his deer season. I was the only one that caught a fish, and it was a trout. But anyways, yeah, it snaps and it sets the hook. But these are pretty cool. Some people like them. They have other ones that have a motor that make them jig a little bit and stuff like that. Try it out. You might like it. It's called a jaw jacker. But yeah, this one's got paint on it too. You gotta love your dog. But anyways, yeah, it has legs that pop out. And then it has little spikes. So you stick in the snow or the ice as much as you can. It's a pretty neat little rig. But I always bring it with me because sometimes I like to swap it up and try different things. So that, my friends, is the jaw jacker. So now we're going to move on. Alrighty, the next thing on the list, the hole covers. These are actually homemade. Eric, you saw him in a few of my videos. He made these for me and my son. Yeah, basically they're made out of those mats, like exercise mats, but they work. I'm just going to use these again for this year because, you know what I mean, they work, so why go buy new ones when they work perfectly fine. So if you guys have never used these and you're new to ice fishing, when it gets really super cold, if you put these down, they keep the hole from freezing up, which is amazing because then you don't have your traps. I mean, if it's super cold, it's going to freeze up a little bit anyways, but we're not as fast because it sort of insulates it. Now, if you have the 10-inch hole, I think it is, then it's going to be harder to keep them from icing up. But the 8-inch hole will be smaller, so it has more room, so it keeps the air out. If you build a little snowbank around this, so this fits down perfect with your ice trap, and then they put the snow around it, so when you pull it up, you can put it back every time. It helps also to insulate so the wind don't blow underneath. Just little things I've learned, and you usually have time to do all that stuff out there, so why not? But yeah, these are a lifesaver sometimes. I mean, when it's that cold, I mean, who wants to go out every freaking 10 minutes to freaking check their traps, you know, to make sure they're not freezing in. So pick yourself up some of these. Pretty good. I'd advise it. You can buy them or you can make your own, like these ones. So on to the next piece. And now for the best thing that I've bought in a while. The good old K-Drill ice auger. I've seen a lot of bad things about them and a lot of good things about them. The worst thing for me last year, which I'm sure all of you that have watched my ice fishing videos suffered through with me, was the drill would die because I had a cheap drill. And I'd unclip it and clip it back in, and it would drill a little bit more, and then I'd unclip it and clip it back in and drill a little bit more. I'm going to fix that problem this year. Trust me, I'm getting a new drill. That, and I've heard a lot of people say, you know, it has this flotation device on it, so if it comes out of the drill, it falls through, and they say that they lose it because it goes under the ice and disappears, and they can't get it. You know, if the ice is thin enough, you might be able to see where it went because it'll be floating up against it. I haven't had that problem. I try to check it every time before I use it to make sure it ain't gonna come out. So just be careful. I mean, they're pretty nice. I think it was like around 200 bucks when I bought mine. But it worked good for me. A lot of times when I'm with Kenny, we just use his because, you know, it's light and it's charged, and my batteries don't work half the time. But like I said, I'm going to be changing that. But I haven't really had any issues with it, so you know, I would say buy one if you guys haven't tried one, you know, with the drill. I mean, it's super light once you get you know, the drill on it and stuff. It's a lot less stuff and less weight to carry out there or to drag behind you. So on that note, I'll give you a good look at it. Just hooks right on your drill. It's got some nice teeth, and these have a really good warranty with them. It's a lifetime on the freaking teeth, so I guess when they're bad you can send them back and whatnot, and they'll fix them for you or sharpen them or something. But it's definitely almost brand new, so I won't be doing that for a while. But anyways, yeah, I would recommend it. So let's move on to the next piece. And the next thing, your ice scoops. This is the first one I had. So you can see I'm coming a long way slowly. But I took and put a soda bottle on it and taped it all up, so that way if I dropped it in a hole, it would float. Yeah, I mean, it was a cheap one and it's all I had, so I really didn't want to lose it. And at the time I was, you know, didn't have money, so everything I had was valuable. I don't have money now. I'm not meaning that like that. I just mean like I was completely broke. I didn't have a job or nothing. So, but anyways, so I still have it and I still bring it as a backup. I have this one, which is pretty solid still. I mean, a little bit wiggly down bottom, but she's solid. It has your measure on it. It has a thing to break the ice around your trap, so you don't have to try to use your trap to break the hole. I guess she's still solid. I don't need a new one, so pretty sweet. So basically, I mean, if you don't know what it's for, you scoop the ice out of your hole. And I don't mean to be dumb, make people look dumb or anything like that. Just some people are learning about ice fishing and they probably don't know. So, but anyways, so I got my 2 ice scoops. Guess I don't need to buy a new one. I'm sure Kenny always brings all his stuff too, so if I did need one, he would let me use it because he's a good guy. But I want to make sure I have my own stuff. That way I don't have to borrow his stuff. I mean, when I first started ice fishing, he would let me use his traps because he just wanted somebody to spend time with, you know, ice fishing and not have to do it by himself. So everybody had a good time. So, but I don't want to have to do that anymore. But anyways, yeah, these ice scoops, you definitely need one in your gear. And we're going to move on to the next piece. All right, now my cheap Eagle Claw jig pole, which I still have yet to catch a fish with jigging. I don't even know if it's actually probably a 12 pole. I guess it don't matter. Who knows? Tell me in the comments. But this is what I use to jig with. Can't really say much more about it. Open faced, ready to jig. So cool. Get yourself one of these, put it in your gear, or whatever one you want. Okay, and now for my boots. This is something that makes, I don't know, it made me happy. When I bought these, I had the best time ice fishing. Like, these are perfect storm. I went to the shoe shop in Newport, Maine. It's next to McDonald's, right next to the Yankee Goldsmiths. The lady in there was super nice. This was last year, but she made me try them on and she made me sit down. I was just gonna buy a pair and head out and hope they fit, you know, type of deal. But she made me sit down and I told her I wanted them a little bit bigger, so if I wanted to wear an extra pair of socks and all that, and she measured them out. These boots fit so perfectly, and my feet do not get cold. I think they're rated, I can't really remember, it doesn't say, says shelter high. Yeah, the size 13. But I think she said like, I don't even know, 40 degrees below zero or something. Maybe not. I can't remember. But anyways, my feet never get wet. They never get cold. And I did learn that when I wear 2 pairs of socks, my feet get cold because they sweat and then they get cold. But when I wear 1 pair of socks, I have plenty of room in there and my feet just don't get cold. So these boots are a lifesaver. So get yourself a pair of these, whether they're the same kind as this or they're bogs or whatever, you know, just look up the stuff and get a pair that they're good for you. But those other ones that are like ski boots that only come up to here and have that, I had a bad incident with Kenny one time where we went ice fishing. I had a pair of those. He had a pair of boots sort of like these. And it was like warm, I guess, and it rained. So there was like a half a foot of water on top of the ice and snow. And my feet were soaked all day. I had the most miserable time. Don't let yourself get in that situation because I was taking my socks off in the ice shack, which is all filled up with water anyways, and trying to wring them out and get my feet warm in front of the heater, and it was just an awful time. Then I got these because of that. They costed me, I think it was like 146 bucks or something like that, but it was well worth it. So get yourself a pair of boots like this. It doesn't have to be this brand. Just get yourself some. All right, on to the next piece. All right, guys, these are some homemade. This is actually a buddy of mine that I used to hang out with, that used to go with us. He would put this down the hole, and he made it so it would sit on top of the hole, and then he would just go check it now and then. But I figured I'd show you because they're still in my gear. He made 2 of them. You probably know him, Richard, the one that was in my videos before. But I'm just gonna keep them in my gear just in case one of my ice traps breaks or something, and I'll throw one of these in the hole. There's no flag or nothing like that. You just got to keep checking it. So we're gonna move on, and we got a few more things to show, so stay tuned. Ice cleats. Buy some ice cleats. If they're okay, if you watch my Plymouth video where I went to Plymouth, I walked out there. There was no snow. I walked out, fished for a while, and then we had a blizzard. Well, on my way trying to get out off the ice, there was no way I could pull all my stuff. I had 2 jet sleds. I pulled them out there no problem. But on the way back, that little layer of snow sitting on top of it, I couldn't even pull nothing, and so I had to leave stuff and keep pulling and then go back for stuff, and it turned into a total pain in the butt. So it's probably why you guys like them videos, because I was new to everything and inexperienced, and I still am. You know, I've learned a lot from previous years, but now I make sure I have some ice cleats, because that would have saved my ass then, and now I'll make sure I have these. So yeah, buy yourself a set of these. They're not that expensive, and they'll save your butt sometime. Plus, they'll save your butt from falling on your butt. So, literally, they'll save your butt. All right, let's move on. Next up in the gear, camp chair. Whether you bring 1 or 12, make sure you have something to sit on. Because if you don't have something to sit on, well, have fun sitting in the snow, or sitting on a bucket, or sitting on something. Another thing I want to say is I don't have a minnow bucket, because the one I had got left outside during the winter by accident and it cracked. So, note to self, buy a minnow bucket. The Coleman cook stove. This thing, cowboy, out. Go on, go. Go. Alright, anyways, this thing has saved my butt. You probably saw in some of my videos, I was using it to heat the ice shack. Very dangerous, super dangerous. I used to be a firefighter. I have a little bit of training in that stuff, and I didn't use it the whole time. I just used it to bring the temperature up a bit and turn it off. Like, I wouldn't sit there forever with it on. be safe, don't kill yourself. But I'll open it up. It's just a little dirty. I obviously didn't clean it last year, but it has the little flaps, keep the wind off in it and whatever. This is a dual burner. It ain't very much. You can get one at Walmart, but she's still kicking and it still works. So get yourself one of these. Okay,